Just check it, Papa.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna. I welcome all of you to our Bhagavad Gita class. Today, we are still in chapter 6, and the objective of this class is to enable reading of the shlok, to understand the meaning of the shlok, and to help understand the basic philosophy of Gita. So we are on chapter 6, Dhyan Yoga. And this particular section has got this particular chapter has got 5 sections. We have already completed the first 2 sections, that is advancing in Ashtanga Yoga and the stages of Ashtanga Yoga and practices. Today we'll try to cover the next 2 sections, which is necessity of controlling the mind and the destination of a unsuccessful yogi. Now, since we had a 2 weeks break, I would like to summarize whatever we have done till now, and then we'll move forward. So in this chapter started with Krishna explaining about yoga and sannyas. And he says that yoga and sannyas is basically the same. Now, this is in connection with chapter 5th, where he was talking about Nishkam Karma Yoga, doing all the activity with detachment and offering the fruits to Krishna. So now he starts saying here, means is sannyas is also do your prescribed duty without any detachment and offer all the fruits to Krishna. They should not be, and that is what is sannyas. It is not that you go to a place without doing your prescribed duty, and you are doing something without lighting any fire. That is not the actual renunciation. There are other pretenders. So he makes it very clear in the first and second shlok. And then from the third shlok, he starts talking about the levels of Ashtanga Yoga. Now, Dhyan Yoga is also called Ashtanga Yoga. Dhyan Yoga is also called Ashtanga Yoga. So if you look at Gita, we talked about Karma Yoga, then we talked about Jnana Yoga, then we talked about Dhyan or Ashtanga Yoga, and then we talked about Bhakti Yoga, right? So in Jnana Yoga, we learnt about basically about the body and soul. Yeah, that body is different and soul is something which is eternal. We talked about that. So that is the Gyan. And then the Gyanis basically go for more of a reading, acquiring knowledge through Upanishad, Vedas, to understand more about that. Yeah. And then we talked about the Dhyan Yoga. Now, Dhyan Yoga is mainly focusing on the super soul inside our body. Yeah, that is what is the purpose of Dhyan Yoga or Ashtanga Yoga. Now, Ashtanga Yoga has got 8 limbs. It has got 8 stages, right? The first 4 stages is Yam, Niyam, Asan, and Pranayam. And at this stage is called Aruksha. So basically there are 2 stages, the beginning stages and the advanced stages. The beginning stage is called Aruruksha, and the advanced stage is called Arudha, right? So the beginning stage consists of 4 process, which is Yam, Niyam, Asan, and Pranayam. Normally, when you talk about yoga, everyone understands the exercises that is done, that is yoga. It's not like that. That is just a part, and it is also that yoga is not the right one, because yoga, dhyan yoga means achieving or considering to get the super soul within. That is what is dhyan yoga or ashtanga yoga. It's a complete process where yam means don'ts, niyam means do's, and then we have asanas, where we have various sitting positions which actually help us to control the various airs that we have in the body. And then we have pranayam, the breathing exercises, that also helps us to purify. By doing all these things, we get purified. And after this, we go into the next stage, which is called the Arudha stage, and we go for Pratyahar. Is once you are purified, you start detaching yourself from the sense objects. Then you go to Dharana. Dharana is focusing on the super soul within. And then you talk about Dhyan. Dhyan is meditating more and more on the super soul within. And then the last is Samadhi, where you actually achieve the transcendent position, right? Then we talked about one of the famous slok in this chapter, the 5th and 6th slok, which Krishna says that mind is both a friend and an enemy. If a controlled mind is a friend, but a uncontrolled mind is a enemy. It's like a child. We talked about a child having a knife in his hand. Now, if a knife is with a right chef, he knows how to use the knife and will use it in a right way. But imagine a sharp knife in the child's hand. You don't know what he's going to do. Similarly, it's a controlled mind, then you can actually move forward properly in your goal of achieving super soul. But but it's uncontrolled mind. You don't know what destruction it is going to cause, right? Then we talked about, after when Krishna explained about the controlled mind, then he talked about symptoms of a person in Yoga Rudha stage. Yoga Rudha is the advanced stage. What are the symptoms of a person who is advanced stage? He says, Jitatmana prashantasya paramatma samahita shitoshna sukh dukkheshu tatha mana upmaneyo. He says, the one who has actually controlled the mind and has achieved the Yoga Rudha stage, he has achieved the prashantasya. Prashantasya means extreme peace. Prashantasya means it is extreme peace, transcendental peace beyond. And then he's at a physical level, shitoshna, it is heat and cold. It doesn't matter to him. Sukh and dukh at a mental. He's equal in sukh as well as dukh. It is mentally, it is he's equal. He or she is equal. And man apna is at ego level. Whether it is in a man or man, it doesn't matter to him. He's beyond all these three planes, right? And then he says, Jnana Vigyan Zriptatma Kutastha Vijitendriya Yukta Ityuchyuta Yogi Samloshtashrama Kanchana. And he says, such a person who has actually reached the Yoga Rudha stage, for that person, because of the knowledge and self-realization of the knowledge, for that person, pebbles, stones, gold, everything is same, right? That is the first 9 shlokas that we read. And then Krishna started talking about from 10 to 17 shlok. He talked about practicing stage of Ashtanga Yoga. How exactly, for an Ashtanga yogi, what is he supposed to do? How exactly he goes for this? What is the practice stage of that? So in the practice stage of Yoga Rudha, Krishna says that the yogi has to go to a secluded place, to a forest, and going there, he should go alone. He should go there alone, and he should be free from all the desire and possessiveness. Go to Himalayas, that's how we think about a yogi. Used to think of a yogi in Himalaya sitting on a kusha grass and then he says that the person, the yogi should actually sit on the kusha grass, and the seat there should not be too high or too low, and he should fix his mind and should actually focus on the tip of the nose, and then he should keep his body, neck and head all in the straight form and sit in the meditating position and perform the meditation. And this is to, what is the goal? It is to you reach the super soul within, to recognize and to get aligned to the super soul within. And there are a lot of recommendations in Ashtanga Yoga. You should not sleep too much, sleep too little, eat too much, eat too little. It should be all perfectly, so that you are able to maintain the yoga. Then Krishna says this was a practicing stage, and then Krishna took us to perfectional stage of Ashtanga Yoga. Now, by doing all these things, when the yogi is following all these things, it has reached a stage where the mind is fully controlled. And that was the example that was given about a lamp in a windowless room. How will the lamp will not figure? It will be stationed, right? It will be stationed. So the yogi reach a stage where it's just like the mind is so much controlled, as if the lamp which is there in the windowless room. And then slowly he moves forward into the dhyan and samadhi stage. It reaches the samadhi stage, and then it has to have a lot of faith and determination during all this process. Yeah. And then in the last class after this, we learned that once the yogi has reached the samadhi stage, what exactly he sees? What is the next level that he sees there, which is from shlok 27 to 32. And the shlok number 27, Krishna says, Prashanta manasya heyam yoginam sukham uttamam upayati shant rajasam brahma bhutam akalmasham. He says, Krishna says, the yogi who has actually reached the samadhi stage, what will happen? He has, again, Prashanta, he has achieved transcendental happiness, and he achieves a Brahma Bhuta stage. That is, he is situated in the transcendental platform. He is beyond the material world at that point of time, and he has reached the transcendental platform. And at that point of time, he is seeing the absolute truth, the God, in the form of light. We said it's all pervading effulgence of the light. Yeah, Brahma Bhuta stage. That is a Brahm. He is looking at that. And looking at that, he has already reached the transcendental plane. Even this transcendental plane has got multiple layers. It has got multiple layers. Now he has reached the first layer during this samadhi, and when he continues doing that, then what happens? Krishna explains in shlok number 29. Sarvabhutashthatam atmanam sarvabhutani chatmani iksheta yog yuktatma sarvatra samdarshanam. What happens? We continue to do samadhi. He actually sees what? Sarvabhutastham atma. He is able to see the in each of the atma, in each of the living entities, he is able to see the super soul within. What is he able to see? If he continues to move forward after the effulgence, what you will see the next level? That is the super soul situated between all living beings. And he also sees all living, and he also sees Krishna in all living beings. He is that. So a true yogi observes me in all living beings and also sees every being in me. And this is the self-realized person, sees me as a supreme lord everywhere. So he's able to see. That is a perfect yogi vision. That is in each and every living entity you have super soul. That is what is the shlok number. That is the next level of a advanced yogi. And then Krishna says, Yo mam pashyanti sarvatra sarvam cha mai pashyati tasyaham na pranishyami na cha me na pranashyati. Krishna says, for one who sees me everywhere and sees everything in me, I am never lost, nor is he lost to me. So when the yogi has reached a state where he is seeing the super soul within all the living entities and seeing Krishna there, then what is happening? That person is always taken care by Krishna. But still, if he continues to do more and more tapa, then it reaches the last level, the level where sarvabhuta stham yo mam bhajatyet ekatvam sarvatha vartamanopi sa yogi mayvartate. Krishna says, such a yogi who engages in the worship service of super soul, knowing that I and super soul are same. So the yogi, when he achieves a level where he can see that super soul and Krishna are same, that is the highest level of yoga. When he has reached at that level, then Krishna says, Arvan remains always in me in all circumstances. Then he is always, that yogi is the highest yogi, and he is always with me in all circumstances. Yeah, that was the shlok number 31. And in 32, Krishna says, Atma pamyena sarvatra samam pashyati sorjana sukham va yadi va dukkham sa yogi parmumata. He says, Krishna says that he is the perfect yogi who sees the true equality in all beings. He's seeing everyone equally. And that is what Krishna says. And in both happiness and distress, O Arjun, when he's seeing, that is the true yogi. Now, this particular shlok arouses question in Arjun's mind. Yeah. He says, now we start with shlok number 33 onwards. That is necessity of controlling mind. So now Arjun is questioning Krishna. So let us go to shlok number 33. Arjun Uvacha Yoyam Yogastvaya Proktah Samyena Madhusudana Etsyaham na pashyami Chanchalatva sthitam sthiram Yoyam Yogastvaya Proktah Samyena Madhusudana Etasyaham na pashyami Chanchalatvat sthitam sthiram. So now here Arjun says to Krishna that, the process that you're talking to me about, the yoga process, yoyam, this yam is this process that you're talking to Prokta is saying to me, Samyena Madhusudana, O Krishna, that Samyena, see everyone equally. Samyena means equally. That look at everyone equally. Etasyaham na pashyami. Pashyami means to see. I cannot see like this. I don't, I'm not able to accept this yoga process for me. Chanchalatvam sthitam sthira, because the mind is restless and unsteady. The mind is asthiram. It is not sthir. It is not steady. And it is totally restless. So you are telling me to control the mind, and then you are telling me to see everyone equally. And I see that this whole process is extremely, extremely difficult. Why? Because seeing all the living entities, if you ask me, I cannot ever see Yudhishthira and Duryodhana equally. For me, Yudhishthira, and I cannot equate Yudhishthir and Duryodhan at the same platform. Yeah. At the same time, you look at, and he gives other examples of what do you call it? Dronacharya. He's a great guru, Dronacharya. And Drupad, the king, he says, look at that story of Dronacharya and Drupad. How can, Dronacharya and Drupad, they went to the same Gurukul. They went to the same Gurukul. And Drupad was the king. And Dronacharya was the guru. And they both were equal during the Gurukul days. But later what, and Drupad was extremely happy, and always Dronacharya used to help him. So he told that, when they were passing out from Gurukul, they said, okay, I'll give you my half kingdom. I'll give you my half kingdom. And then what happened? When Dronacharya went for his own tapasya, and Drupad went and became a big king, and when he became a great king, so what happened? Dronacharya went, and he was like, he didn't have money even to take care of his kid. So what he did, he thought, okay, I have such a, Drupad had promised me for half his kingdom. I will go to Drupad and request him for money. I'll request him for support. And when he went to remind him of his promise, and when Drupad went, and when Dronacharya went to Drupad, what happened? Drupad said, who are you? And how can a Brahmin and a king be equal? It cannot happen. Okay, because you have come to him, give him some alms and go from here. And Drupad got, and Dronacharya got very, very angry. And then what happened? He actually, through his disciple Arjun and all, he got Drupad defeated and brought him to him. And then he took the half the kingdom, right? And later what Drupad did, he could not bear the insult, and he did a Agni Puja. And from that came Drishtadyumna and Draupadi. And Drishtadyumna finally killed Dronacharya. Yeah. So Arjun says, I mean, it is not possible to see everyone equally. And the process that you are telling that, go to the forest alone and leave everything behind and sit and exclusively do meditation. And, it is extremely difficult for any man. So because the mind is extremely restless and unsteady. You can control mind by pranayam and by pranayam and meditation for some days probably, but not always. Then he says, in the next slok, he says, Chanchalam hi mana Krishna, Pramathi balavadrinham, Tasyaham nigraham manye, Vayoriv sudushkaram, Chanchalam hi manah Krishna, Pramathi balavadrinham, Tasyaham nigraham manye, Vayoriv sudushkaram. Mataji.
Chanchalam hi manah Krishna.
Chanchalam hi manah Krishna.
Pramadi balavadradam.
Pramadi balavadrinham.
Tasyaham nigraham manye.
Tasyaham nigraham manye.
Vayureva sudashkaram.
Vayureva sudashkaram. So here Krishna says, Chanchalam hi manah Krishna. Oh Krishna, this mind is extremely chanchal, extremely restless, extremely unsteady. Pramathi balavadrinham. And he also gave 3 more adjectives. It is a harasser. It is a pramathi. Pramathi means it is a harasser. And then it says balavad. It is extremely strong. And drinham. Drinham is, it's absolutely obstinate. If the mind is uncontrolled, then what it is? It is a harasser because it gets attracted to a lot of things. It is extremely strong and it's extremely obstinate. If it has decided something has to be done, it will do that. Tasyaham nigraham manye. Tasyaham, I do not know how to nigraham is subdue this mind. Vayoriv sudishkaram. To me, Vayu means the wind. How difficult it is to control wind. To me, it is as difficult as controlling the wind. How can you control the wind? It is like that. So let's read the English meaning. The mind is restless.
For the mind is restless,
turbulent,
obstinate,
and very strong.
O Krishna,
and to subdue it,
I think
is more difficult
It's more difficult
than controlling the wind.
than controlling the wind.
Yeah, so we know that famous analogy that we talk about for the chariot and our senses. So the chariot is the body, chariot is the body, and the passenger in the chariot is the soul. Yeah, and the one who is driving the chariot is the intelligence. The horses, the 5 horses are the senses, and the reins which is connecting the horse and is the hand of driver is the mind. The senses keeps on running in all direction. The horses keeps on, all the 5 horses are running in different direction. How difficult it is for the intelligence to control the reins. So this is how the description is given. So how the way the horses keeps on moving in all direction, our mind keeps on moving in all direction, and it is the intelligence who is supposed to control it. So Krishna says that you can only control the mind if you can make intelligence, your buddhi. Intelligence is your buddhi, stronger than the man. Only when you can make your intelligence stronger than the mind, then only you can control the mind. And how can you make your intelligence stronger than the mind? Only when you are focusing your buddhi on the right things. Right thing is what? You meditate, you chant the holy name, you hear about from our scriptures, you hear about Krishna, the Naved Bhakti, that the 9 process of Bhakti that we talked about. These are the process by which you can actually control you can strengthen your intelligence. And when you strengthen your intelligence, you can actually control your mind. You can actually control your mind. Yeah. So we go to the next slok. Let's see what Krishna says. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha
Shri Bhagavan Vacha
Asanshayam Mahabaho
Asanshayam Mahabaho
Mano Nigraham Chanchalam
Manodurnigraham Chalam
Abhyasena tu Kaunteya
Abhyasena tu Kaunteya
Vairagena cha Grihyate.
Vairagena cha Vivyate.
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha
Shri Bhagavan Vacha
Asanshayam Mahabaho
Asanshayam Mahabaho
Mano Durnigraham Chalam
Manodurnigraham Chalam
Abhyasena tu Kaunteya
Abhyasena tu Kaunteya
Vairagyena cha Grihyate.
Vairagyena cha Griyate
Vishnu.
Asamshayam Mahabaho
Asanshayam Mahabaho
Manodurnigraham Chalam
Mano Durnigraham Chalam
Abhyasena tu Kaunteya
Abhyasena tu Kaunteya
Vairagyena cha Griyate
Vairagyena cha Grihyate. So what does Krishna say? Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. Krishna says, what does he say? Asanshayam Mahabaho. O mighty armed Arjun. Asanshaya. There is no doubt about it. What? That the mind is extremely chanchal and it is extremely unsteady and restless. Asanshayam Mahabaho. Mano Durnigraham Chalam. Mano Durnigraham means to control. It is extremely difficult to control the mind. Mano Durnigraham Chalam. But tu means but. Abhyasena Kaunteya Vairagyena cha Grihate. But by abhyas, by practice, and vairagya, by detachment. O Kaunteya, O son of Kunti, the 2 ways to control the mind is by abhyas, by practice, and by vairagya, by detachment. When you follow these 2 things, then you can actually control your mind. Now, what is this abhyas Krishna is talking about? Now, abhyas is again, now when Arjun, who was such a great warrior and who has all the right situation to go for yoga and can do yoga, when he says that, going alone in the forest and sitting and alone and considering is so difficult, you cannot control the mind, then what can the people in this Kalyug do? How much they cannot even separate themselves for 1 minute from mobile phone. Yeah, we can't even concentrate for chanting for 10 minutes, right? So how can we do the yoga practice that Krishna talks about? So the best way what abhyas we can do is, we can at least start chanting the holy name of God, listening the holy name of God. We can actually keep on hearing about Krishna. We can read scriptures. We can do our, the deity worship. We can do some, what do you call it, prayers. We can do, so all these mechanism, all these methods of bhakti can actually help us, will engage our senses into the right direction. We can control our tongue by only eating prasadam. We will not eat anything which is not prasadam. That way we can actually control our tongue. We can use our hands by actually using for decorating God. We can actually use it for doing arti. We can use our sound for doing prayers, chanting. We can use our ears for listening about, hearing about God. So by all these ways we can engage our senses, and by practicing doing it again and again, what can happen? We can actually control our senses and mind, and vairagya. And by this we'll also develop detachment, vairagya. So we should not get attracted towards sense by doing all these things. When we use our senses, engage our senses to all these things, what will happen? Slowly we'll develop vairagya from the material world. And when we develop vairagya, then we will be able to focus on the right goal of our life, right? So let us read the English translation. Lord Shri Krishna said, O mighty armed son of Kunti, it is undoubtedly very difficult to curb the restless mind. But it is possible by suitable practice and by detachment. Yeah, by these two methods we can actually control our mind. Yeah, let's look at the last shloka for this section. It says, Asanyatatmana yogo दुष्प्राप इति मे मतिः वश्यात्मना तु यत्तथा शक्यो वाप्तु मुपायतः असंयतात्मना योगो दुष्प्राप इति मे मतिः वश्यात्मना तु यतता शक्यो वाप्तुम् उपायतः असंयतात्मना योगो दुष्प्राप इति मे मतिः वश्यात्मना तु यतता शक्यो वाप्तु उपायतः. So here Krishna says, asanyatatmana yogo. Asanyat means uncontrolled. Sanyam, you are not able to control. Atmana is your mind. When your mind is not asanyam, yogo dushprap. Definitely yoga is dushprap. It is not easy to get that. Iti me mati. It is my I agree that it is not vashyatmana tu yadata. But vashya means to control atmana. But when you control the mind, yadata shakyo aptum, you are assured to get success is assured. This is my opinion, right? Let's read the English meaning. Version, the Sanskrit shlok. Oh, Mataji, you have already read already, right? For one whose mind is unbridled, self-realization is difficult work. But he whose mind is controlled, and who strives by appropriate means, is assured of success. That is my opinion. Yeah. So if you are not controlling the mind and but still trying to do yoga, what you are actually doing is you are lighting a fire and then putting water on it. So you are actually wasting your time. So first thing is work on controlling your senses, and by that you can do by abhyas and vairagya. Then only, so when you can control your mind, you will definitely achieve success, is what Krishna says. So this completes the section of importance of controlling the mind, right? Now we go to the next section, fourth section, which is the destination of unsuccessful yogi. Yeah. So here now Arjun continues with his question. Arjun says, So let's now Arjun puts next question to Krishna. Let's read this shlok number 27. Arjunuvacha
अर्जुनोवाच
ayati shraddhayopeto
अयति श्रद्धयोपेतो
योगाच्चलति मानसः
योगाच्चलितमानसः
अप्राप्य योग संसिद्धिम
अप्राप्य योगसंसिद्धिं
काम गतिम कृष्ण गच्छति.
कामगतिं कृष्ण गच्छति
अर्जुनुवाच
अर्जुनोवाच
अयति श्रद्धयोपेतो
अयति श्रद्धयोपेतो
योगाच्चलति मानसः
योगाच्चलितमानसः
अप्राप्य योग संसिद्धिम
अप्राप्य योगसंसिद्धिं
काम गतिम कृष्ण गच्छति.
कामगतिं कृष्ण गच्छति अयति श्रद्धयोपेतो
अर्जुनुवाच
अर्जुन उवाच अयति श्रद्धयोपेतो
अयति श्रद्धयोपेतो योगाच्चलत मानसः
अप्राप्य योगसंसिद्धिं
अप्राप्य योग संसिद्धिम
कामगतिं कृष्ण गच्छति
काम गतिम कृष्ण गच्छति. Now Arjun has a question. He says, you are talking about this yoga, it's such a difficult process. So it is possible that people have started to practice yoga, and then they have not actually achieved they have not finally achieved the super soul, the aim of the yoga that is there, right? So with all shraddha, with all ayati shraddhayopeto, now with all shraddha you have started following the practices, yogam chalati manasa. But what happens? In between you have got deviated. In between you have got deviated. Aprapya yoga sansiddhim. Whatever is the sansiddh, the final objective of the yoga, aprapya, you have not got it. It is not possible. It is possible. Kam gatim Krishna gachati. Then what happens to them? What will happen to those people who started with all shraddha, all faith, but then they were not so strong to continue with that faith, and in between they left it and they could not achieve the final destination? Then what will happen to them? Right? So let us read the English translation. Arjun said, O Krishna, what is the destination of the unsuccessful transcendentalist who in the beginning takes to the process of self-realization with faith, but who later desists due to worldly mindedness and thus does not attain perfection in mysticism. Right? So it is not easy to follow the whole process of yoga, because when you are trying to follow the process of yoga, you are in this material world which is governed by Maya, and Maya keeps on testing you. Maya keeps on testing you. It will, each time when you are very serious, you will be brought with lot of distraction by Maya to check whether are you seriously you want it, or it is just your shraddha is not so strong. Yeah, so you will be thrown with a lot of distraction by Maya, because Maya will not let you go from her clutches easily. Yeah, you have shraddha, you have faith, you have started doing it, but then what will happen? You will get distracted, because Maya now knows that you are trying to go. But in this material, what is there? We are actually in the cycle of birth and death. Yeah, and we are under the control of Maya. Yeah, how can Maya let you go? Yeah, because the other platform, the exit of this cycle of birth and death, actually takes you to a platform from where you will never come back. If you have reached Krishna, you will never come back. That's what Krishna will say you will read later in Gita, right? So it is not easy to exit that. When you're trying your best to exit, you will actually you will be surrounded not only with material desires, you will have so many calamities that finally you will get fed up and leave it. Yeah. So the thing is, the question Arjun is saying, you have started with faith, yeah, but you may not have achieved, you not have achieved the final destination. So what will happen to them? Yeah. So now let us read the next question that Arjun's asked. He continues his question. He says, Kachino bhaya vibhrishtas
Kachino Baya Vibrashtas.
छिन्नाभ्रमिव निश्यति
Chinnabhramiva Nashyati.
अप्रतिष्ठो महाबाहो
Apratishto Mahabhavo.
विमूढ़ो ब्रह्मणः पथि
Vimuro Brahmanapati.
कंचिन्नो भय विभ्रष्टस्
Kachino Baya Vibrashtas.
छिन्नाभ्रमिव नश्यति
Chinnabhramiva Nashyati.
अप्रतिष्ठो महाबाहो
Apratishto Mahabhavo.
विमूढ़ो ब्रह्मणः पथि
Vimuro Brahmanapati.
माताजी
Kachino Baya Vibrashtas.
कच्चिन्नो भय विभ्रष्टस्
Chinnabhramiva Nashyati.
छिन्नाभ्रमिव नश्यति
Apratishto Mahabhavo.
अप्रतिष्ठो महाबाहो
Vimudo Brahmanapati.
विमूढ़ो ब्रह्मणपति. Brahmanapati is in this path of spiritual realization. Kanchino bhaya ubhaya vibhrishtas. It is like he is now giving an example. Arjun is now giving example of a small abhrava means a small cloud. So it's like there's one cloud of the material world in which all of us are, and there's another cloud which is of a spiritual, which is where we have to reach, right? And these two clouds has a gap in that. It's a process from which you exit from this material world and then goes towards the spiritual world. So it's like a small cloud which has come out of the material world, material cloud, and is moving towards the spiritual cloud, a small raven cloud, right? Now this raven cloud is up, it doesn't have a, it is not yet established itself in the spiritual path. So will this raven cloud, will it get lost? Because it has already left the material world. It has already, because of the abhyas and detachment, it has got enough power. It's like a rocket. A rocket, if it has to go high above, above the gravitational pull, it has to travel by a speed of 11 kilometers per second. Now, if it is less speed, what will happen? It will come down. Now, the small cloud, the small soul has successfully been able to detach from this material world, but has not yet reached the spiritual cloud. So it is now hanging in between. So what will happen to that small ribbon cloud? Will it get lost? Yeah. So let us read the English translation. O mighty Am Krishna.
O mighty Am Krishna.
Does not such a man
Who
is bewildered from the path of transcendence
is bewildered from the path of transcendence
fall away
fall
from both spiritual and material success
from both spiritual and material success
and perished like a raven cloud with no position in any sphere? Understood? Yeah. So what happens? Normally, what happens for all of us? We all are in the material cloud, and we are very happy that I've got so much bank balance, I've got so much, family, I've got so much land, I've got so much bank, support system, and then I will survive and I will die. Yeah, and I will live my life. But what is happening? You are actually in the clutches of Maya, and you are actually in the cycle of birth and death, and you're completely doing that. All these things, positions that you have got is actually a Maya. It's a Brahm. You don't know which day what will happen, everything you lose. You don't know. It can happen. You can have a lot of money in a bank, and maybe that bank crashes. All your bank balance is gone, and it's done. You may have a lot of money in the what do you call it, in your stocks. It crashes. Everything is gone. Yeah. So we think that these are our support system and we can live properly and happily. But then we don't really bother much about the God. We don't really spend our time doing that, thinking that, I'm building my support system which will help me to cross this world. But what happens is, this is just temporary and anything can happen. Now, when you are focusing and you have come out, you're trying to come out, and then you have not completely detached, it is possible that your abhyas was not strong, or your vairagya was not strong, and you have actually got missed in between, right? So Krishna he's asking what will happen to them. Now let us go to the next shlok number 39. This is the longest question Arjun has asked. It's a 3 sloks question that Arjun is asking. This is again, the question continues. Etan me sanchayam Krishna.
Etan me sanchayam Krishna.
Chetum arhasya sheshatah.
Chetum arhasya sheshatah.
Tadanya sanchayasyasya.
Vadanya samsayasya
Chetana hya upapadyate.
chetana hyupapadyate
Etanme sanshayam Krishna.
etanme sanshayam Krishna
Chetum arhasya asheshatah.
chetum arhasya sachetah
Twadanya sanshayasya.
vadanya samsayasya
Chetana hya upapadyate.
chetana hyupapadyate
एतन्मे संशयं कृष्ण
Etanme sanshayam Krishna.
छेतुम् अर्हस्य शेषतः
Chetum arhasya sheshatah.
त्वदन्यं न संशयस्यास्य
Twadanya sanshayasya.
छेतानाह्युपपद्यते
Chetana hyupapadyate. Etanme sanshayam Krishna. Sanshaya is doubt. Oh Krishna, etanme, this is my doubt. This is my doubt. Chetum means curb it. Means dispel my doubt. Chetum means dispel it, curb it. Ahasa asheshita. Asheshita means completely kill this doubt of mine. Twadanya. Anya means anyone else. Twadanya means without you. Sanchayasyam. My these doubts. No one, no, cheta means dispel. No one else is capable of clearing this doubt of from me. Right? So let's read the English meaning. This is my doubt, O Krishna,
This is my doubt, O Krishna,
and I ask you to dispel it completely.
and I ask you to dispel it completely.
But for you,
But for you,
no one is to be found
no one is to be found
who can destroy this doubt.
who can destroy this doubt.
Yeah. So Krishna here, Arjuna has asked 3 questions, and now next slok onwards, Krishna will answer to Arjun. Yeah. Shri Bhagwan Vacha
Shri Bhagwan Vacha
Parthaneveha Namutra
Parthaneveha Namutra
Vinashastasya Vidyate
Vinasastasya Vidyate
Nahi Kalyanakita Kaschid
Nahi Kalyana Krita Kaschid
Durgatim Tata Gachati.
Durgatim Tata Gacchati.
Shri Bhagwan Vacha
Shri Bhagwan Vacha
Parthaneveha Namutra
Parthaneveha Namutra
Vinashastasya Vidyate
Vinasastasya Vidyate
Nahi Kalyanakita Kaschid
Nahi Kalyana Krita Kaschid
Durgatim Tata Gachati.
Durgatim Tata Gacchati.
Now Krishna says, Shri Bhagwan, yeah, Mataji.
Shri Bhagwan Vacha
Shri Bhagwan Vacha
Parthanaiveha Namutra
Parthaneveha Namutra
Vinasastasya Vidyate
Vinashastasya Vidyate
Nahi Kalyana Krit Kaschid
Nahi Kalyanakrit Kaschid
Durgatim Tatta Gacchati.
Durgatim Tata Gachati. Now here Shri Bhagwan Vacha, Krishna says, Parth. Parth is Arjun. Ne ve ihi. Ihi is this world, in this material world. Namutra. Namutra is in the next world or the spiritual world. Vinashas tasya vidyate. Vinashas, destruction. Never. And nahi kalyan krita kashit. Kalyan krita is anything which is auspicious done. Kashchid, anything that is auspicious. Durgatim tata gachati. Durgatim means it gets destroyed. So here Krishna says, let's read the English translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said,
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said,
Son of Pritha,
Son of Pritha,
a transcendentalist engaged in auspicious activities,
the transcendentalist engaged in auspicious activities,
does not meet with destruction
does not meet with destruction,
either in this world
either in this world
or in the spiritual world.
or in the spiritual world.
One who does good,
One who does good,
my friend,
my friend,
is never overcome by evil.
is never overcome by evil.
So Krishna says that when you are doing the Kalyan Krit, when you are doing the spiritual activity, those spiritual activities are never lost, neither in this world or not in the next. It is never lost. If you are doing material activities, for example, all of us, we have studied, we have got a degree, and we have now working, we are storing our money in the bank. But once I die, what will happen? Nothing of that will come along with me in my next life, right? Nothing of those is going to help me in my next life. If I take birth again in this material world, I have to again start from Ka, Kha, Ga, Ga, A, B, C, D, and start again reading and start doing. If I have done a lot of spiritual activity, then only I will get a birth of a human, right? And if I have, it all depends upon how I have lived my life, right? Accordingly, my next birth will get decided. Upon my karma, my next birth will get decided. Now, whatever I am doing and materially I'm processing is going to left behind in this world, right? But any spiritual activity that we do, whatever spiritual activity that is the only thing that you can carry from with you in your next life. That is the only thing. Anything material that you have, anything, your land, your money, your bank balance, your relationship, your husband, your wife, your whatever relationship we have, everything will die with us. What I'm going to carry with me to the next life is only my bank balance that will carry is my spiritual bank balance. How much chanting I have done, how much hearing I have done, how much scriptures I have read, how much I have helped in spreading it, how much I have helped people in doing it. All these are my actual earning, which I'm going to carry from not only this life, with my soul, I'm going to carry till I exit from this to the spiritual world, right? That is the only thing I can carry with me. So Krishna says, anything that is Kalyankrit, Durgatim, it never gets destroyed, right? Yeah, so we go to the next slok. Prapya punya kritam lokan. 41.
Prapya punyakritam lokan.
Ushitva shashvati samaha.
Ushitva shashvati samaha.
Suchinam shrimatam gehe.
Suchinam srimatam gehe.
Yoga bhrashto abhijayate.
Yoga brashto abhijayate.
Prapya punya kritam lokan.
Prapya punyakritam lokan.
Ushitva shashvati samaha.
Ushitva shashvati samaha.
Suchinam shrimata gehe.
Suchinam srimatam gehe.
Yoga bhrashta abhijayate.
Yoga brashta abhijayate.
Prapya punya kritam lokan.
Prapya punya kritam lokan.
Ushtva shashvati samaha.
Ushitva shashvati samaha.
Shuchinam srimatam gehe.
Shruchitam shrimatam gehe.
Yoga brashto vijayate.
Yoga bhrashto vijayate. Now here Krishna says, Prapya punya kritam loka. Prapya means will get. What will you get? Punya kritam lokan. Lokan is planets. What will I get? Punya kritam. Which are punya kritam loka? When you do good activities, then you don't actually go to spiritual planets. It all depends upon how much activity you have done. If you have done a lot of good activity, like you have actually built hospitals, or you have donated a lot of things to poor people, or if you have made some dharamshala, when you're doing all these activity, then you are in the mode of goodness, and then you get promoted to heaven, to the punya kritam loka, is something like swarg, which is also in this material world. It is not beyond this material world. They are higher planets. They are punya kritam loka. They are higher planets based on what sort of activities you have done. You have started doing good activity, but it may not be spiritual, but you have done a lot of good activities. So what happened? You will actually get promoted to higher planets. And from that higher planets, as based on your goodness, your bank balance, your goodness bank balance, you will get promoted to those Swargalok or Punyakritam Loka, and you will stay back for many years. Shashvatam Sama, for a long time you will stay there. When your bank balance gets finished, what will happen? When your goodness bank balance gets, you will again come down. And where you will come down? Suchinam Srimata Gehe. Suchinam means pious people. Shuchi means pure. Suchinam is pious people. Srimata rich. Srimata Gehe. Either you, depending upon what sort of activity you had done, either you will be born in a family of a pious people, where you will get exposed to all these to your shastras, to your chanting, you will get exposed. Yeah, so you will get born to a shuchinam, someone who is a pious people in their house, or Srimata Gehe. Srimata Shri means someone who is very rich people. You will get in, so that you don't have to Gehe his home, where you're not struggling with food, how to sleep, where to sleep, how to live. You are already given all those things, so that you can continue with your journey. You can continue with your spiritual journey. Now, this will happen when you have done, you have traveled small distance. As a yogi, you have done small distance. When you have not really traveled very long, but to someone who has worked, spiritually, they have moved for 20-30%. Yeah, so then they will be born to a pious family, where they get an environment where they can grow. Yeah, they can grow. Yeah. So what will happen? Those small kids also, as a kid, they'll be lucky to go to Kedarnath, Badrinath. They may be lucky to go to all the pilgrimage places because they are born in a family where they get exposed to all these things, right? And or they will be, when they are still very they are not so pious, but they are still very much materially hungry. They want to enjoy still a lot of material pleasures. They want, they'll be born in a very rich family where they can go and enjoy those material pleasures that they had been hankering for, but they had done good in their life, previous life. So these are the places how your birth get decided, right? And then, so yoga bhrashta is those who have broken. So let's read the meaning, English meaning. The unsuccessful yogi, after many years of enjoyment, on the planets of the pious living entity, is born into a family of righteous people, or into a family of rich aristocracy. Okay, so we go to the next shlok number 42. Athva yoginam कुले भवति धीमताम् एतद्धि दुर्लभतरम् लोके जन्म यदीदृशम् अथवा योगिनामेव कुले भवति धीमताम् एतद्धि दुर्लभतरम् लोके जन्म यदीदृशम् माताजी अथवा योगिनामेव कुले भवति धीमताम् एतद्धि दुर्लभतरम् योगे जन्म यदीदृशम्. But what happens? Someone who has really done a lot of spiritual practice and has really traveled much higher distance between those two clouds that we talked about, material world and spiritual world, maybe has traveled a journey of 70-80%. Yeah, it has traveled a long journey. So what will happen to them? Athva yoginameva, they will be born in a kule. In which kul they will be born? Into the such a kul where the people are extremely, they are acharyas, they are extremely high into the spiritual practices. Yeah, and dhimatam, they are extremely wise. Dhi means intelligence they have, and their home, their environment, everything is like a temple. Yeah. So because they have traveled such a high distance already, they will be born into a family of acharyas where they can very soon move forward in that journey and achieve the supreme goal. Understood? Yeah. Etadhi durlabham taram. But the durlabh means rare. But this sort of janam is extremely durlabh. It's extremely rare. Huh? So let's read the English translation. Or if unsuccessful after long practice of yoga, he takes his birth in a family of transcendentalists who are surely great in wisdom. Certainly such a birth is rare in this world. Right? So why if someone gets born in a family where a lot of puja, part, yoga, is already there? Because those souls have already traveled that distance, and they are now there so that they can move forward and complete their journey. Right? So let's go to the next shlok, 43. Tatratam buddhi sanyogam labate parva dehikam yatate cha tato bhuya
यतते च ततो भूय
संसिद्धौ कुरु नंदन
संसिद्धौ कुरु नन्दन
तत्र तं बुद्धि संयोगम
तत्र तं बुद्धिसंयोगं
लभते पौरवेवदेहिकम्
लभते पौर्वदेविकं
यत ते च ततो भूय
यतते च ततो भूय
संसिद्धौ कुरु नंदन।
संसिद्धौ कुरु नन्दन
तत्र तं बुद्धि संयोगम
तत्र तं बुद्धि संयोगम
लभते पौर्वदेहिकं
लभते पौर्वदेहिकम्
यत ते च ततो भूयः
यत ते च ततो भूय
सिद्धौ कुरु नन्दन
संसिद्धौ कुरु नंदन. So what Krishna says is, now Pauravedikaham, because of their previous dehi, because of their previous body, whatever activities they had done, the divine consciousness they had done, they will try to again progress and achieve complete their journey. So on taking such a birth,
On taking such a birth,
he revives the divine consciousness
he revives the divine consciousness
of his previous life,
of his previous life,
and he again tries to make further progress
and again he tries to make further progress
in order to achieve complete success.
in order to achieve complete success.
O son of Kuru.
O son of Kuru.
So we know the story of King Bharat, who actually was, he left as a king, he renounced everything and went to the forest to become a yogi and finally become a devotee and finally achieve Krishna. But he got distracted by the deer, and he took the next birth as a deer. But as a deer, although materially he became degraded, but spiritually he advanced, and then he took the next birth as Jad Bharat and finally achieved Krishna. Right? Now let's go to the next slok. 44. Purvabhyasena tenaiv
पूर्वाभ्यासेन तेनैव
ह्रियते ह्यवशोऽपि सः
क्रियते हवशोऽपि सः
जिज्ञासुरपि योगस्य
जिज्ञासुरपि योगस्य
शब्दब्रह्माति वर्तते
शब्दब्रह्माति वर्तते
पूर्वाभ्यासेन तेनैव
पूर्वाभ्यासेन तेनैव
ह्रियते योगस्य
जिज्ञासुरपि योगस्य
शब्दब्रह्माति वर्तते.
शब्दब्रह्माति वर्तते.
So what Krishna says here is Purvabhyasena tenaiva. Purvabhyasen, because of the previous abhyas that he has done, what will happen? He'll become jigyasu. He'll be very much inquisitive, asking as a child also he wants to know more. What happened? Why it is happening like that? So from the child itself, they want to do a lot of puja, a lot of these things, and want to read a lot of scriptures, want to gain a lot of knowledge. You can see from them that, they are not coming, they are all actually coming with they are continuing their journey, right? And they'll be beyond Shabda Brahma. Shabda Brahma is Vedas. They'll be beyond these three. They're right from childhood. They'll be more like a transcendentalist beyond this three world, right? So let's read the English meaning. By virtue of the divine consciousness of his previous life,
by virtue of the divine consciousness of his previous life,
he automatically becomes attracted
he automatically becomes attracted
to the yogic principles,
even
without seeking them.
Even without seeking them.
Such an inquisitive transcendentalist stands always above the ritualistic principles of the scriptures. Understood? So that is how the journey of the people who are already advanced will be in the next life. And then last slok for today, it is Prayatnadayat manastu yogi sanshudha kilbisham aneka janma sansiddhas tato yati param gatim prayatnadayat manastu yogi sanshudha kilbisham aneka janma sansiddhas tato yati param gatim. Mataji. Prayatnadayat manastu yogi sanshudha kilbishah aneka janma sansiddhas tato yati param gatim. So now let's read the English translation. And when the yogi engages
And when the yogi engages
himself with sincere endeavor
himself with sincere endeavor
in making further progress,
in making further progress,
being washed of all contaminations,
being washed of all contamination,
then ultimately
then
achieving perfection after many, many births of practice,
achieving perfection after many births of practice,
he attains the supreme goal.
he attains the supreme goal.
Right? So what Krishna, Arjun wanted to know what will happen, who has practiced, and then Krishna explains how the next birth of that will be there. Those who are traveled less spiritually, they'll be born in a family where they will actually, they'll go to a Punyakratam Lokam, they'll go to Swarg, they'll enjoy for some years, and then they'll again come down, and if they have done a lot of path, they'll be born in a family of Brahmins where they will have an environment where they can grow up again in the divine consciousness. And if people have a lot of material pleasures still to be included, they'll be born in a family of a lot of aristocratic people where they can actually enjoy their material life. Yeah, now it all depends upon how you are living in this life. To you have a free will to decide you want to move forward or you want to degrade yourself. That choice is always Krishna has given to us by free will. Yeah, we can always enjoy this time by coming to the Gita class, or we can always enjoy this time by going to a party. It's a choice which has been given in our hand, and we have to decide that what do we want to do. Someone who has really traveled a long distance will actually be born in a family where they are already very acharyas. They are already into a lot of their whole day is only dedicated to God. And in such a family, what will happen? The soul will actually get the right environment to proceed forward and achieve the supreme goal. Yeah. So with this, we'll end today's class. If you have any questions, please write it down. I will try my best to answer that. We'll chant the Mahamantra and close the class today. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna.